Are you a college student in 2025 and feel like getting an internship is impossible? Well, to tell you, you're not alone. I feel the same way applying for probably over 100 internships just in the last few months. In today's video, I'm going to be covering frustrations, tips, and what needs to change in the internship world for 2025 and moving forward. The two biggest concerns that I have for 2025 internships, I've been trying to apply for internships for about the past year, and maybe I'm overshooting, trying to get the best of the best companies and the top of the line companies. But one of my biggest concerns is overcomplicated application processes. It's as if applying for a regular job, a full-time position anywhere else would be easier to do than applying for said internship for finance, tech, or any of these internships for the summer as a college student. I feel as if it's easier just to apply for the job. Two, unrealistic requirements. How, as a college student, can I have 2 years, 3 years, 1+ year in a certain field as a college student? I get I could do my own work. I could get that I could do my own projects, but are you counting that as experience? You want work verified experience in my resume without any degree, without anything? How is that even possible to any of these companies? I don't know if you've dealt with this issue, but to me, it makes zero sense. Another thing that has frustrated me, I've only experienced it once from a company called BlackRock. I'm pretty sure it's world renowned for being, in many views controversial, big finance company, big wealth management company. But I feel as if the pre-recorded solo interviews, that if you get pre-selected from the application to then the next processing, you go into this pre-recorded interview where you and yourself are just recording yourself like I am right now, and you're answering 3 questions, and you have maybe 2 minutes to prepare, and then 1 or 2 minutes to answer, and you have 1 take. So if you're not ready and you're not committed at whatever answer or question they're giving you, then you have to submit it regardless. So I think that's a little unfair and unbiased, because it's not truly showing you who you are as a person. And maybe they just want robots and people that know exactly what it is or can do things in that period of time. I'm not sure. I think it's kind of weird and just feels unhumane in a way. I don't know. I didn't find it so unhumane, but it made me feel just so awkward and just like kind of detached from the world. I feel like as in an interview, you need some type of human reaction, human feedback to see how well the interview is even going. With that, it's kind of like, okay, you have these 3 questions, you have like 6 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, and you either be A1 and get through the process and go to the next actual interview, or however it worked, and then, but if not, I feel like as if a real interview is way better and makes more sense to do for an interview, especially for a college student. It doesn't make any sense to me. And one last frustration that I've heard from maybe 5 to 10+ companies is the "we'll get back to you soon." If you've applied to internships, you've definitely heard it. And then you get a few weeks later just rejection emails, or, yeah, sign up to our email newsletter or email marketing just so you could hear about more job listings, the same ones that you applied for, because you'd probably be a good fit for those. If I wasn't a good fit for the first one that I applied for, why would I be a better fit for other ones? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Some tips that I think are very valuable that I have been trying to implement in my own internship journey for this summer, for the next year, for after graduation, are network. Network, 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 network. I'm usually on LinkedIn about 3 times a week, trying to connect with new professionals, trying to connect with new people at my campus, trying to connect with different career path people that maybe I've not thought of before, but I feel like it's a good way to get your toes into something, And I'm not just saying, okay, I go scroll on LinkedIn all over and I just hit connect and that's it. I mean, in the sense that you're trying to figure out, what career paths do I want to go into? What careers do I find interest in? Okay, what type of people are either in the HR level or in the position that you want to be in specifically? You want to connect with those people, maybe talent agents, talent acquisition, certain people like that. And I mean, connect with them and send them a message. Hey, I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm a college student and I'm kind of interested in this field. If you had any tips, what would you give me? I've hit that with 30, 40 people. Yeah, maybe more than that. But yeah, there's been a lot that I don't even get a message back and I don't even get a connection back. But then there's some people I get a connection and I get a somewhat of conversation and some ideas of people saying, "Oh, I'm in so and so. I'm in banking. I did this, that, and the third. I learn these type of skills, and I think they're very beneficial for you if you want to continue in this career path." One tip that is definitely annoying, but definitely is said to work by career professionals, people that have gotten internships before, videos that I've seen, is to align your resume with the career jargon, the business jargon, basically fancy word for business words that are used in said resume or said application that you are applying for. So say you're applying for Meta or Google or Amazon. I'm just naming big companies that are in my head. If you're applying for said companies, make sure that in the application, whatever words or kind of keywords that are used in that, try to implement them some way, somehow into your resume, because it could be better off used when getting selected for your resume than compared to others. The main reason I mention this is because most of these big companies, because of the large scale of internship applications getting sent in, I've seen on LinkedIn that there's been hundreds of thousand applicants into one internship. So just imagine that they're not even using a real human to scan through all these 100,000. It's an AI. In the world that we're in with AI and DeepSeek and all these big computer chip companies and OpenAI and certain things like this, they're not using a human to scan through all these things. That human would be brain dead. That human would be just so rotted that they are using AI to scan through all your applications. So make sure to use these keywords to get put at the top of the list. I strongly suggest, I study currently international business. I strongly suggest that you apply widely. So if you're in marketing, figure out, even use AI, figure out what are the top key roles in marketing. What are the lower branches? How far can you spread out to marketing? Do you want to do advertising? Do you want to do SEO? Do you want to do digital creation? Do you want to do like placements of ads, the psychological behind it, the creative design outside of just graphic design? Do you want to be a project manager? Do you want to just, you know what I mean? Spread your choices widely and don't just hone in on, I want to do social media marketing. Because when you do that, you have more of a chance of obtaining an internship. And just once that one internship comes in, I think that's where your roots start spreading and have the opportunity to gain more exposure to more internships and more jobs out there that you would most likely like. After applying to internships, I would strongly suggest that maybe a week after you follow up with an email. It could be as simple as, a cold email, basically emailing the HR department of said company. You could even do something as simple as looking it up on Google, doing an AI prompt. Hey, I just applied to so-and-so company. Here's the application. How should my follow-up email look like? Boom. It says something simple as that. And something as simple as that can take 3 minutes of your time and you did none of the work. Just a bonus tip right here. I would suggest doing passion projects or passion businesses or just something of your own that you can show for rather than just, okay, I worked this, I did these school projects. Like say a school project, you work in finance, let's just say, and maybe you do some type of stock portfolio management or you do some type of stock analysis. Put that into your resume and share that with the interview. Share that with your resume because those little things can be the cherry on top for your resume rather than person that just went to a fancy school, has good grades, and just did the regular stuff that you did, but because they're at a better school, it's better for them and it looks better. Some issues that I have with internships in 2025, 2024, I feel like the internship culture is kind of outdated. It's so many hoops and so many ways to like deter you from getting an internship, going through the processes and all these things than there is actual results. And like I said in the beginning, I feel like it is easier to apply for a regular job than it is to apply for some of these internships that these top companies, these Fortune 500 companies have. Going back to the frustrations, it's still a big issue that I have is these automated responses, automated self-recorded interviews. I think that really has to change. I understand that there's so many applicants, there's so many things, but if you're already using AI to filter out the bad, filter out what you don't want, filter out whatever that you're not looking for, these keywords on these resumes, I feel like as if there should still be some type of human interaction, human interview to actually go through the process. I feel like as if the self-recorded videos doesn't make any sense and is kind of thrown off. You get thrown off the path because it's like if every application is just like that, why did somebody want to do some awkward, weird, self-depriving interview just for an internship? Like I said, I think that's one of the biggest issues that I have with these internships nowadays. I think that's one of the biggest things that has to change. I think honestly, you should not give up. You should not stop trying to apply for internships. The past few weeks, because I've been studying abroad, I have not been focusing on internships due to midterms. But once midterms are done and all done with studying, I'm going to be picking up back up on at least 1 to 2 internship applications a day. I think if you could slowly implement those things, it could take up as little as 1 hour a day. And something as simple as that, you could get 5 to 10 applications a week. If you just do it during the weekdays, just imagine that. If you can get 40 applications a month, I think that's very more probable than you just trying to cram in 5, 10, 15 applications in one day. You know, some people have different workflows. Some people work differently, but that is my goal to do for the rest of this time while I'm studying abroad until June. And I'm curious to hear from you guys who are watching this. What is your worst internship experience, application experience, any of like, I would say the nitty gritty that you just don't like, or what are some frustrations you have? What are some tips that you have? And overall, I think internships for certain things have to change, but I wish you guys all the best success for getting an internship in 2025, 2026, 2027, even whenever you're watching this. Maybe you're a time traveler, you're watching it in 2024. But I hope you guys have a great night, great day. And this is day 2 out of 60. So peace.